Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this video we're doing how to build on the brand new, which is not really new anymore, LR Milim. So once again, I wanted to try her out myself before I ended up giving a review about how to build on, what gear to give her, because I know I've watched other people testing her beforehand, but it was like I want to test her myself, try out HP defense, attack crit, and see how she performs before I end up saying, oh, she's better with this, but sometimes she's better for that. I've tested her out, once again, a few weeks, I think it's about 2 weeks now she's been out for, 2-3 weeks. And yeah, I have a rough understanding of how good she is. She's very good, like very good. She mainly excels in PvP, but she can also excel in PvE sometimes here and there. She's the highest CC LR currently in the game. The only characters that have more CC than her are the UR base characters, which once again is to be expected. They're UR base, she is LR. Stats. Good pierce rate, she's somewhat pierce based, so that's not too bad. Resistance is okay. Crit chance is it could be improved on, but her passive makes up for that. Crit damage, once again, pretty mediocre, but once again, passive improves on that. Crit resistance is okay. Crit defense is very good. Lifesteal is quite good. Recovery rate, regenerate, don't really care about. Onto her skill. So her first skill, Obliteration, which is basically a pierce skill, but it's got to ignore enemy defenses. Upon skill usage, crit chance decreased by 50% per stack of Dragon's Power on self, and damage dealt is increased by 30% for each stack of Dragon Power on self as well. This single target can do an absurd amount of damage if you have Dragon Rampage. Dragon Rampage, if you have a single Dragon Rampage stack and you have a decently higher ult level Milim, you are going to reduce one character off the field. Unless, of course, it's another Milim, let's go down the Dragon Rampage stack, then you're kind of screwed. Other card is called Raging Gale, which is basically a 2x crit damage skill, but ignores enemies' resistance, and has a 50% increased damage dealt when it has Dragon Rage. Dragon Rage is her main buff that she gets, which is going to be the main way you're going to be dealing damage, really, in PvP. Her armor is nearly as long as her passive. Removes all Dragon Power from the hero, applies Dragon Rage on the hero for 3 turns, then inflicts Raging Gale damage equal to 525% of attack on all enemies. Which means she's going to obliterate the field. She is extremely powerful. This is basically a spike skill that ignores enemies' resistance. It's 50% increased damage dealt if you have Dragon Rage on the hero as well, which is even stronger. While the hero is in the battle, if an ally hero dies due to an enemy's skill during the enemy's turn, or if any enemy heroes dies due to the effect of this hero's skill, the hero gains 1 stack of Dragon Rampage for each fallen hero up to max stacks of 6. This effect lasts for 3 turns. So this is either if Milim gets a kill, she'll gain a stack, or if the enemy was to kill one of your allies, you gain a stack. What Dragon Rampage is, basically, you take 1 damage from the attack. It's like the Deer phase 4 floor 3, where you do 1 damage with the skill. You're fixed to 1 damage. Once again, at higher ult levels and lower ult levels, you can get there's a maximum stack limit. Pretty sure at 1/6 you're stuck at like 2 stacks max. But once again, I'm 6/6. It basically, if it ends up becoming a 1v1 and my Milim's got max stacks, you're not winning. Because as long as you know how to play against it, you should be good. Raging Gale, once again, we saw what this does, which is the 2x crit damage, so it's 50% increased damage dealt if Dragon Rage is active. Dragon Rampage, single target skills damage, 50% additional damage equal to 100% of the target's increased HP. Once again, this additional damage equal to the target's HP, based on ult level. If you're not 5/6 or 6/6, it's not 100%, it's like 70%. Once again, it goes all the way down to 30%. But if you are like 5/6 or 6/6 and use a level 1 single type with that Dragon Rampage buff on a Gelder, you can one-tap with a level 1 skill. It's so broken, and it's so good. Additional damage of 100% of the type, yeah, we've done that. Sets all incoming damage from attacks to 1. Stack count to decrease each time the hero uses a skill, or each time the hero takes damage. That is the main bit. Now we've got all of this stuff as well. At the start of the battle, applies 2 stacks of Dragon Power on the hero, then Dragon's Protection for 3 turns, increase allies' defense-related stats by 20% for each stack of Dragon Power on self. 1 instance of Dragon Power is removed each time an ally uses a skill, or this hero takes damage from an enemy's skill use on the enemy's turn. Additionally, all stats of the hero are increased by 7% for each time a stack of Dragon Power is lost, up to a maximum of 28%. Once all instances are removed, Dragon Rage is applied to the hero, When Dragon Rage expires, 2 stacks of Dragon Power is applied once again. Basically, her passive infinitely cycles. Once again, once she loses her buffs and gains her attack buff. Once she loses the attack buff, she'll then regain the defense buffs. Then, when they're gone, once again, it's a cycle of attack buff, defense buff, attack buff, defense buff, attack buff, defense buff. And that's how she works. What Dragon's Protection is, allies' damage taken from AoE skills is lowered by 40%. So for 2 turns at the start of the battle, you take 40% less damage from AoE skills, which is pretty nice. It means once again, other Milims you'll be taking the most damage off, Sabs you'll be taking less damage off of, Escanor AoEs, melee AoEs, it's not really Demi AoEs, lots of AoEs you'll be taking quite lower damage from. The hero is immune to stat lower effect as well. I'm not sure if that's just chucked in there. She's just immune to stat lower decrease effects. Okay, that's pretty cool. Dragon Power applies Dragon Rage. Dragon Rage on the hero once it's removed. What Dragon Rage's attack rate stats increase by 40% and ignores 100% of the target's critical resistance. In addition, additional damage equal to 40% of final damage when using AoE skills. Basically, when you do an AoE skill, you get a 40% death damage on top of that. Of course, apart from the ultimate, because if it was the ultimate as well, it would be terrifying. Because her ultimate, let me show you, does a lot of damage. So if this was to do death damage as well, it would be like horrifyingly powerful. Okay, there we go. 1.2 million on one enemy with no allies. This is the AoE. We'll do a level 3 just to show off damage. And death damage. And we use single target as well, which don't have any Dragon Rampage stacks, but bonk, still 500k. That's without Dragon Rampage. If you have Dragon Rampage on top of that, you're going to be sending anyone like to the grave. Even in PvE, that stack also works in PvE as well. Yeah, you're going to be melting everyone. And you have the Relic. When using a skill, it always deals the attribute advantage regardless of the enemy's attribute. Light characters, dark characters, she's hitting type attribute advantage, which is then another additional 30% increased damage dealt on top of all her skills, which is absurd, because not only does she have this insane, 100% increased damage, 100% of the enemy's additional health she can then deal as damage if she has Dragon Rampage, but you've got an additional 30% on top of that. You've then got the fact that she gets another 40% attack related stats, you've then got the fact that she gets a damage boost if she has the buff as well. She's then got the 40% attack related stat buff, got type advantage. She's going to vaporize anything. But then this is where it comes to the problem is because those stacks she only gets when an ally dies or when she kills an enemy, when Milim kills the enemy. Milim has to get the kill. In PvE, she sort of drops off a little bit. In places like Rat, she performs a little bit better than others, only because technically Rat has 2 towers, so there's technically 3 enemies instead of like 1, which all the other demonic beasts are. So she performs better in Rat than all the other demonic beasts. Demon King she doesn't perform very well in, mainly because she can't get Dragon Rampage. And a character like Shion, once again, provides support, provides DPS, is a much better pick, especially with your characters like Albedo on the team, where Albedo, once again, probably out DPS Milim. Like, the death damage is good, Milim's ultimate is quite good, but if you're not getting these Dragon Rampage stacks, it's not really too impactful in PvE. PvP, if you're popping a 6-6 ult, you're probably wiping the field. And this is when it comes to gear. So, for PvP, it's HP defense, because she can put out so much damage and she boosts her stats and all her damage output by so much, you need HP defense, so she can tank other Milims. But when it comes to PvE, you can easily give her attack crit, and because she's got such good stats. Like, her sub stats are good. You put her on an unknown team, she's already going to have even more stats. She increases her all stats by 28%, so, look at these stats and add 28%, especially on the defense-related stat department. She is tanking a lot. But once again, she's more of a PvP character, but still in PvE, she still can shine. She's just a little bit more gimmicky in PvE, and you still have to think a few turns ahead in comparison to PvP, where it's sort of, you play 3 skills, half the enemy team's dead. Of course, unless they're running a counter team, but still then you have to learn how to play around them, so on and so forth. But overall, she's very good. I highly recommend you building her, of course, with outfits. Like, I have all her outfits as well. You do lose out on a quite nasty amount of stats here, of course, because Milim has so many outfits. She has the standard SSR one, she's got her UR outfit, she has her LR outfit, she has the Diamond outfit, and then she has the 2 paid outfits. Weapons-wise, she only has 4 weapons, but you're still missing out on quite a chunky amount of crit chance and crit damage. Cosmetics-wise, once again, you always want to grab the cosmetics, only really for the lifesteal. Lifesteal is always such a big stat, especially for these collaboration characters. But no, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.